How do we know if it opens up or down?
A is negative or positive.
What is A in this problem?
Negative.
It's negative, so it opens down. Questions? Again, that's our A, right? What's our B? What's our C?
Zero.
Zero. Okay? If you need to write that in for your C, go right ahead. All right? All right, so let's just do this. There's the graph, but we'll get there. So opens down because A was negative. Find the axis of symmetry. What do I have to do to find that? Come on, somebody can tell me.
Negative B over 2A.
Thank you, Vince. Negative B over 2A. That's our little formula to find our axis of symmetry. So negative B would be that, and 2A would be that. Well, that's positive 4 divided by negative 4, which is negative 1. Questions? So you can see on our graph here that's already done, that red dashed line is through what number? Negative 1, right? That's where we put it when we graph. Put your dashed line in your graph. Okay? To find our vertex, okay, I know the x value is what? Negative 1, what we just figured out, right? How do I find the y value? Plug it in where? To the original equation or the original function. So to find my y value of my vertex, I'm putting negative 1 in for x. All right? So that's negative 2 plus 4, which is 2, right? So if we go to our graph, the point right here is negative 1, 2. That's our vertex. Questions? Nolan?
Is that process different if the equation is in a different form?
Yeah. When it's in vertex form, then we can tell what the vertex is right away.
Because I think I'm getting picked up on that.
Yeah, vertex form is this. F of x equals a times the quantity x minus h squared plus k. You see it in that form. Your vertex is hk. Those two numbers. And it will be the opposite of this number. So if this is x minus 2 and that's a plus 3, 2, 3 would be the vertex. If it's x plus 2 plus 3, it's negative 2, 3 for the vertex. Okay? All right. Y-intercept is our C value. What's our C value? 0, right? So that's the origin. There's our y-intercept right there at the origin. How do I find the third point so I can draw my parabola? Yeah, reflected over symmetric, right? So this green dot at 0, 0 is 1 unit to the right of my axis of symmetry. So I go 1 unit to the left. So the third point that I would label for my graph would be negative 2, 0. It's on the x-axis there. Okay? Any other questions? Now, let's take it further. Does this have a min or a maximum value? Maximum value. Everybody understand why? Any questions on why it's max and not min? You're allowed to ask. Why is it max? Because it opens down. The vertex is at the very top of our parabola. So, right, if it's min, it would open up and it'd be at the very bottom of our vertex. All right? So, what's the domain of this? All real numbers, right? That's always the answer for these parabolas. Right, Cindy? The domain is all real numbers. Okay? The range, remember, is my y values. Since it's a max, its y is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. Since it's a max. Less than, right? Everything below it. And it's whatever your y value is of your vertex. Okay? Sometimes it'll ask you for the maximum value. So what is the maximum value equal to? It's that number you got for your range, or the y value of your vertex. Okay? Questions? All right then, I'd like you to do this on your own. Do that one, please, right now. And I'll come around and check how you did. All right, so is it a min or a max? Why? Opens down. Why does it open down? A is negative. Remember, this is our A. That's our B. And that's our C. Right? So it opens down. That means it's a max. We're going to figure out what the max is. Okay? Again, domain is always what? We can answer that right away. All real numbers. Okay? Range is y, since it's a max, what? Less than or equal to. Again, once we figure this out, this number and the max value will be the same number. Okay? In order to figure it out, we got to figure out the vertex. Before we can figure out the vertex, we got to figure out the axis of symmetry, right? So where we start is using this formula. Remember, that's for the axis of symmetry. All right? So B is 2. minus negative 3. Okay? So that's a negative 2 over a negative 6, which reduces to a positive 1/3, right? Questions? Okay. Now, this helps me figure out the vertex, which will help me tell what the max value is in the range. Okay? To find the vertex, I have to substitute 1/3 in for x. Okay, that'll give me the y value of the vertex, right? The vertex is 1/3 something. The answer to this will be that something, that blank. Okay? So you can just do that on your calculator. Okay? Here's your negative sign at the very bottom. Parenthesis. 1/3, just write or punch in 1 divided by 3 until you show a fraction. We have to square it, so hit the squared button right here on the left side, middle of it. And then plus 2, parenthesis, 1 divided by 3 for the 1/3, and then minus 4. So that's negative 3.4 repeating. If you wrote it as a decimal, that's okay. If you want to change it to a fraction, which I prefer, you hit this math button. It's a couple under the second button on the left there. And just hit enter twice. That's changing your answer, saying answer changing to a fraction. So negative 31/9 is that answer as a fraction. Again, if you want to write it as negative 3.4 repeating, that's okay. So that's my range and my max value. Vince, you got a question?
Why did we omit the 3? Like, when we plugged it into the
Did I forget something?
3 in the beginning?
Ah, I did. I should have not omitted it. So I made a mistake. All right. So this is not the right answer. All right. So I'm going to hit second, enter, and put a 3 in there. All right. I'll get it right here a sec. Is that better? Yeah. That's what you guys got? So it's negative 3.6 repeating. Sorry. Or it's what? 3 times 3 is 9. It was 11/3 is the fraction. Negative 11/3. Yeah. So don't make careless mistakes like I did. Questions? So you didn't have to graph this one, but we still had to figure out the axis of symmetry so we could figure out the vertex. That way we could tell what the maximum value was and what our range is. Questions? This helps. Okay, so what I have tonight for homework is a worksheet of this type of stuff, some more practice. I think we still need to practice some more. All right? But let's make sure we're practicing. Let's make sure we do it.